Hey everybody, it's Kevin, and today is Saturday, the 5th of June 2021. I'm happy to be here. I missed a day yesterday. I needed sleep. Yeah, I've got that new puppy, and the new puppy was a bit restless on Thursday night. So we just slept it a bit longer Friday morning. I like to come here with a message that matters, to give a focus for the day that matters. And I'm not sure I can do that when I feel rushed or tired or something's not on. So I'm learning to listen to myself and to get clear. I have been moving along with the Angel Team training. I took Certified Angel Guide training earlier in the year, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Got so much out of it. And what I'll share with you about learning, higher learning, whatever you want to call it, continuing education, is that there is a student and a teacher that lives inside every single one of us. And for me, what I believe is that student and that teacher are one. They are within me. It isn't really possible for me to be an effective teacher unless I share information that I have myself learned. And what I love about teaching, sharing, if I will, because that's my new way of looking at being a teacher, is a sharer and a carer, with the hopes that other people will get something from it. And what I'm learning is, all my life I tended to put teachers and preachers on a bit of a pedestal. Definitely respect, and definitely a higher sense of giving them the space to teach me. Not always respecting the information, and not always respecting the way it was delivered, especially in grade school. And a little note to all of you: I would consider myself to be a high school flunk out. I knew at an early age, 11 or 12 years old, that fiddling about with people's hair was really where my career was. I'm grateful to the powers that be, I now know Spirit, for guiding me in that direction and keeping me on that path, and for providing me. What I'm really most grateful for is that Spirit, world, whatever you want to call it, the power source, universe, God, provided me with a career that I truly enjoy, working with people I love, doing something that I love, and making a good living. And for that, I am immensely grateful. And now that I am coming to the final stages of this life that I'm on, I'm not ready to die yet, or hang up my boots, as they call it. But I am saying that it's a bit of a full circle. You realize that there's some things that repeat themselves in order to make adjustments where they need to be adjusted. Perhaps look at things in a different way than I've looked at before. I am now appreciative and enthralled by young people. They keep me young. They keep that effervescence going. Whoops. So I'm shuffling the cards, and here comes the jumper. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. Commander Ashtar, call to action. Take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. So it's I don't know if Commander Ashtar is saying shut up with your babble and get on with the reading, but there it is. And what I now know in my new training is is when the jumpers come out, you pop them aside. It's a little bit of an extra bonus. So where was I going to wrap that up? Not where, just being enthralled by young people. The youth of today, looking at toddlers and babies, and sort of having that respect, if you will, for the fact that, wow, their life is just beginning and their physical life has just started. And I've learned that there's a little bit of a connection when you look into the eyes of a baby, or the eyes of a 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 month old, and they're looking back at you, and they're smiling, they're grinning. You can feel that love from source energy. You can feel that the energy that's coming down from them, that they recognize something in you and you recognize something in them. And unless you're paying attention to it, unless you have that within you, it's very difficult to see. Obviously, mothers get it because they're given that part of the maternal instinct, which I like to consider to be the Mother Mary energy, coming with peace. Mary, the Mother of God, and there you go. All right, so let's get on with shuffling the cards and doing this reading. I'll put the camera down this way. I will get rid of my keyboard. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Needs a good wash. I had my big Great Dane Emma Grace when I put the... Well, let's put the camera back so I can show you. I don't know if you can see her. Oh, she's on this. She's on this. No, you can't. Well, maybe this camera will show it. Let's see if I can turn my laptop camera down there. Look. Big ass Great Dane sitting right there. She's curled up on a executive shit chair. She barely fit, but listen, she's going to do it somewhat may. There you go. Oh, bless her heart. Crazy girl, crazy girl, crazy girl. All right, let's get back to what we were doing. No particular order. Thank you, angels, for reminding me that you're present. Thank you for bringing the images and the messages that we are to share with today. I am open to listening. I'm open to receiving. So it is and so shall it be. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for cutting the ties that bind me to people, places, situations, stories, drama, any unnecessary nonsense that I no longer want and need. I'm safe, I'm free, and I thank you, Archangel Metatron, for clearing the space to lower vibrations, lower vibrational energies that attach itself and cause distractions. All right, here we go. Let's give it a good shuffle. Let's see where we are with this. Hey, Horus. I've called my lovely, delightful Leandro Salsa skull. Such a sweet. I mean, there's information in this one that is quite prevalent. I like to hold on to him sometimes and meditate to get that information. But there you go. So spread them out. Quickly, and boom, and boom. There you go, 2 cards. So what I'm learning now is that the magic really is in me, and I interpret what the cards have to say, which I love that. So these decks, they give you images that inspire you. So here's the first one. White Eagle, Ancestor Spirit. And then Hilarion, which I've never pulled Hilarion before, Divine Healing. So I would say the message of today really is going to be for all of us to take a step back from the humdrum world of life, from the humdrum every day, the paying of bills, the fear of limits, the fear of what's going to happen, the fear of what's not going to happen, and let it be. But more importantly, as if we could stick a... I like to look at this as, most of you may or may not journal. I don't know if you journal. I'm not sure. And a journal doesn't have to be sitting down at the end of the day for hours and hours and hours writing out what your day was like. You can journal in the morning and get clear with what is your circle of attention for today. And that can be one word. That could be, my circle of attention for today is love. It is understanding. It is peace. My circle of the day is, and it's a focus. It's a word that creates a vibration, that creates a focus, similarly to those images where you see a pebble popping into a still water and you see the ripples rippling out from the center. So if we look at where our strengths are, the White Eagle, you already know that you come from spirit, you come from source, you come from an energetic a space and a place, and there is a lineage that goes with it. But let's see what Kyle Gray has to say about the strengths of what we know about what Eagle White Eagle has come to say. And that's going to be Keepers of the Light. I love these cards. Every single one of these decks have a complete purpose. So, White Eagle, it says, is a Native American shaman who is dedicated to honoring our spiritual heritage. He's the world-renowned spirit guide who has been particularly cherished by mediums all over the world. He first spoke through a medium called Grace Cook in the early 20th century. He's the guide who helps create clear channels in our bloodline and our spiritual lineage so that we can access the heart of the Creator. He also helps us move into sacred ceremony where we can hold sacred space to honor a change, transition, celebration, or anything else that deserves time. He's wonderful for clearing space, and we can call upon him for help in forging spiritual connections. So take some time today to honor just how far you've come on this physical life journey, and then recognize through rituals and shifts in your awareness, healing, and your journey really that allows you to move into a state of grace and gratitude. So recognize all the accomplishments you've accomplished. Recognize how you are connecting with source energy, with spiritual energy. Even if you feel like you're new at it and it's a bit confusing and it's a little bit like there's a lot coming at me at one time, just recognize that you're actually doing it. I think sometimes just the awareness that there is a spirit connecting with us is quite enough. It isn't necessary to have to get it right before we even start. That is a human construct. I'm going to get into that in a minute. You have or have recently had an opportunity to heal an old family wound or pattern. So it's important to connect with your family, and that could be your close friends in spirit, that you can set a new energy of love in place. White Eagle is bringing your ancestors through to you and allowing you to know that they are happy and well. He's sounding the sacred drums to clear your spirit. And I'm pausing to get an idea of if any of my spirit guides and angels have something they want to say, and all they're saying is, if you're connected to this, and if you're listening to this, they're coming in great volume, in great abundance to say how much they love you and how much they appreciate those of us that are finding a higher connection, a deeper connection to source energy, and essentially using the mindset, the heart set to rise up above the day-to-day humdrum that everybody else seems to be sucked into. So now we'll go into the heart of the matter and what Hilarion is looking for us to do. And I'm particularly taken by this color of green. And green is the color of the heart chakra that speaks to, let's see, here we go. Healing of emotions, healing of feelings. We've come into a place, I believe, that we've got to recharge and heal ourselves. Because I don't know about you, but I am daily connected to how the physical world around us, and it doesn't matter whether you live in the America, South America, Canada, England, Germany, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Spain, any of these places all across the globe, even Australia, New Zealand. There is a definite sense of discord, disarray, disharmony. There's a definite sense of mayhem, mischief, madness that is occurring. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, it is what it is. Since the time began and since the ancestors walked the earth, and you can go way back as far as Cleopatra and the Egyptians, go all the way through history books. Those of you who are history buffs, at any given moment, there are times where human power, people on the planet, decide that they need to own it, and they're going to rip it up, or they're going to claim it, or they're going to be demonstrative in it. I happen to believe that anybody in modern times, and we're going back to the 18th century, 19th century maybe, slave owners were such that believed that they could have the power over slaves, which was abhorrent and awful. And then we move into the 20th century, and typical people on the human level believed that they needed maids and assistants and help. And that was to me, looking at it, it's a form of slavery, encapsulating people and causing them to become dependent upon somebody who saw themselves as being higher than. So what is happening in our culture right now is an evening out of all of mankind. There's a rising of the feminine energy that's coming forward. And feminine energy doesn't mean to say we're all becoming feminists, but the feminine energy is rising up so that they can show the masculine leadership energy how to move forward. There's a softening of this masculine construct. There are companies that are dedicated to more of a social platform when it comes to treating employees. And that's not making it all cozy and going to work, but it's treating them differently as equals, recognizing modern companies such as Facebook, the company, not the platform, Apple, some of these large, very successful companies have done so by creating an environment where the folks who work there feel respected and honored, and it's a pleasure to go to work. They feel like they're part of something bigger, something better. I myself have taken upon supporting young business owners, small business owners. Nothing against the big box places, they have their place in time. But when it comes to how are they treating their employees, I had a conversation yesterday with a client who was concerned about asking for a raise. And I was struck by where the power was going. How was that possible? Does this person believe the employer values them as a person? Because if the person that you are actually physically working for, helping keep that company afloat, helping keep that workforce going, helping to do whatever you do in your daily life, if that employer values you, knows you, thinks a lot of you, then they should be okay with paying you more money. But this goes back to claiming your worth. Be ready to claim your worth. And not just claim your worth as far as money. That's energy. Money's energy. Your bills are going to get paid. You might stretch yourself a bit with credit. Be grateful for the credit. Be grateful that some bank somewhere said, thank you, you've been a good person. We're going to give you a line of credit that you can do some things with. We trust that you'll pay it back. rather than resenting the bills because you've got to pay something you're obligated to. Or then energy source says, well, you clearly don't want this energy, so we're taking it away from you. You clearly want to be lined up with poverty, so we're going to show you what poverty looks like. Until you get the fact that poverty really is energy too. All right, let's get on with what Hilarion has to say. So, Hilarion is a spiritual master who lived in the Middle East during the 4th century, and at the age of 15, he was called upon to retreat to St. Anthony in the Egyptian desert. This was busy with people needing healing, so after a while he went back home with some monks, and during that time his parents passed away, and it was said that Hilarion was so devoted to service, he gave all of their estate to his brothers and the poor. The rest of his life he lived as a hermit in a cave and was said to perform miracles with his prayers. To this day, he's dedicated to healing. But he also helps spiritual people who feel overly sensitive to overcome their challenges and integrate with the normal world. The world can seem overwhelming right now to all of us. And it's okay to retreat to a safe place, to cleanse and recharge our energy. And we might feel called to serve others or share your healing with them. But please, make sure you're filling up with light, love, and energy first, so that you're not sacrificing your development for others. Make sure you're surrounded by the healing light of Hilarion and the angels, so that you can recharge and feel whole. So now I want to know what Commander Ashtar has to say about pulling it all together. Like, what should we be paying attention to on this level? What the message is. So, for those who don't know, Ashtar is a commander, multi-dimensional being, and promotes truth, peace, harmony between all the planets. In some tales he's said to be extraterrestrial, but he appears in human form so that we can communicate on the human level, at the heart level. He's meant to be part of the Great White Brotherhood. That's not a racial group, a congregation of light beings, really, who work to bring healing to the world. He's a wonderful guide to those who are feeling called to bring positivity, healing, and inspiration to others. He lifts up the hearts of leaders and inspires them to walk their path with complete integrity. I'll tell you about another story, conversation with somebody I had recently who was, thinking that they didn't deserve to be taking the training, or that they weren't sure what they were going to do with it, or that it seemed a bit far-fetched for them to be doing. Well, we've all felt that way when we've decided to do a course of study. And I was asking this lady client, wow, you have to do this continuing education. You're already an accomplished doctor. You have to do it to keep your license going. So why not choose something that really pushes your buttons and challenges you? And some people are very fearful of going into a challenge, not really because it's a challenge, because they don't quite know if they're going to make it. And this is where we get into self-sabotage. We usually shut the lid, close the box, and push it away because we don't want to look like a fool, or we don't want to be perceived as not getting it right. That's where the key is. If you can remove the construction of right and wrong, good and bad, pass and fail, if you can get rid of that and just be with the experience of, I did it, I completed it, and there's some things I can review and do again because I wasn't quite sure. Just because somebody gets an answer incorrect doesn't mean to say they're incorrect, doesn't mean to say that they're stupid. And sometimes the pressure of getting things right the first time is so much so that we end up getting it wrong to teach us a lesson. We're not supposed to be, we're already perfect. But when we learn something we've not done before, it takes a couple of tries. I've learned that the hard way. Trust me, some of my first haircuts were abominable. I should tell a story about the lady who had waist-length hair and went home with a chin-length bob, all because I didn't quite know how to blend the sides in. So, Commander Ashtar, you're receiving a call to action and being asked to step up and create changes that you want to see in the entire world, your universe, maybe your neighborhood. So divine inspirations all around you. Ashtar and his legion of cosmic angels are standing by to offer you the loving support that you need. Know that you're being encouraged to be honest, assertive, true, but in a loving way. You may feel your ego is trying to hold you back, like, I'm not good enough, I shouldn't be doing this, and this person might think that. But know that when you take the first step, the next one will soon follow. So take some time to connect with the universe by looking up at the stars and knowing that there are loving beings of light gazing right back at you, and you're not alone. So in looking at these three together, White Eagle, your guides, your angels, your ancestors, all those people that you've said goodbye to that are over in the spirit world, they want to talk to you. They're gathering around you. They're letting you know they love you. Hilarion is saying, listen, you've got a lot to do, a lot to work on, and there's a lot going on the planet. There's a lot happening in the planet. We can feel overwhelmed, bogged down, and not particularly in a loving space. So know that it's okay to retreat. It's okay to re-heal. It's okay to take a bath, take a walk, go to the forest, go to nature, dig in the garden, which is what I've done. But at some point, come on out and understand that even though the world might seem like a scary place right now, you are protected. You've got what it takes to stand up for what you believe in. And this is where Commander Ashtar says, listen, we've got you. We understand you've got something to do and something to say. And sometimes you've got to step out of your own egoic insecurities. Yes, that's a term. Egoic insecurities. You know, insecurities, when we start saying things about ourselves that's not true, oh, I shouldn't do this, oh, I shouldn't do that, it is a lie. It's complete bull hooky. Because somebody told us at some point that we shouldn't be this way. Like I was told as a little boy, be quiet, sit down, whatever that was. Because I was always expressive and had something to say. I was always a chatterbox. Some of my school reports says that if I had paid attention or applied myself more, I could have done more, but I got in my own way. And it was all nervousness. It was all nervousness to cover up for the feeling that I don't want to get that wrong. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to, what was the other thing I used to say? That person might not like it. I might disappoint someone. All these ridiculous things. Commander Ashtar is basically calling you to the mothership saying you better stand up in your power and know, here we go. This is it. Push the button. Those of us that live in the Western world, America, have seen these stories, and they're stories. Anytime somebody writes a story on the news, it's a story. You have to get the receipts. You have to see it for yourself. That certain people were hacking into mainframe computers. I know nothing about computers or technology. It's a wonder I did all of this, but I did it. Anyway, that creates fear. And here's what happens when you put fear in people's hearts. It makes money. Now, I'm going to get on a little bit of a soapbox and say to you, I'm sure you've watched news reports and every commercial's about some kind of pill or another you've got to take. Right? And then the reality cuts in where they babble on about what these pills, this medicine can cause. And if you are quick enough to pay attention to the side effects of this medicine, you probably wouldn't take it. All right. I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not big pharma, and that's a big moneymaker. That's my point. The construction of greed and the construction of gluttony and the construction of control and the construction of all those egoic powers that have been set up to cause other people to feel marginalized, put upon, remove their power, frighten them, and cause them to just herd them in like sheep. Cause everybody to go ballistic. Go out there and buy all kinds of things. The example I always like to use is, here comes the weather, we're going to have a hurricane, there's no more bread and milk. What is with that? A year ago, there was a shortage of toilet paper. Never did it ever say the pandemic was going to give you chronic diarrhea. And that you would, really, seriously, it was quite amazing that this hoarding was going on. Hoarding is the result of fear. Hoarding is something that gets put in the brain that creates a tick, which sets off a trigger that has folks believing that they have to have all of this. The idea that something's going to run out terrifies people. So they go out there and they buy more than what they really need. And I'll be honest, I'm not really sure they know what they're doing. And I'm not calling them imbeciles or less intelligent. I'm saying that there is something when you put these subliminal messages in by listening to that stuff. Radio shows, the news. I mean, how many, I'm talking about the American networks. How many news channels do you need? Truly, how many do you need? Why do they have so many? Because they sell news. It's a commodity. Advertising dollars. The fear that there's no, like I listen to real estate agents, there's no inventory. Oh, okay. We'll build more houses. Go out there and find more land. Go out there and find more land. Build more houses. Give people places to live. Don't know. And we are going on a political rampage. Political rampage. Let's go to our journey to the heart. And that's really what I'm committed to doing. This whole year was committed to being loving, kind. And that means I've had to forgive myself for some of the things that weren't so loving and kind about some of the things I said and did. That was tough. It's still tough because it's a lifetime, 58 years of undoing some of that stuff. But without undoing it, I can't move forward because it's like stuck. All right, let's get to what today's message is. What are you trying to prove? You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Not even to yourself. A subconscious desire to prove ourselves may be hiding at the root of all of our fears, the root of our tension, the root of our need to do and be more. Accompanying it can be a burning belief that we aren't good enough, that we need to compensate for some deficiency in ourselves in order to take our place in this planet. We may feel like we have to earn our place, earn our right to be here. Like we're being watched and judged and graded. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You're fine, just the way you are. You have the energy, the vitality. You have the particular gifts and the talents. You've been learning your lessons just right all of your life. Let go of the need to prove yourself to others, to parents, to people from the past, people in your life today. Could it be the one you've really been trying to prove something to is yourself? The answer is simple. Learn to approve of yourself. Learn and accept yourself the way you are today. Then step up and take your place in the universe. I don't think I need to say any more about that. And I think these cards say it for themselves. There is right, there is wrong, but that's more designed to truth, honesty, integrity, authenticity. The truth is something that's inside all of us. You know you're following your truthful path when the feeling on the inside is lifted up and it feels good and it feels giddy and it feels heady and it feels right. And you feel like, wow, I've landed something and I'm excited by it. The excitable type of fear is when you know you're onto something big and you're not sure how it's going to turn out, but you're going to do it anyway. That's where you know you're on the right path, where you know the pathway forward's being lit up. And all I say before we meditate is for anyone, anywhere, to tell you that you're not ready, not good, not this, not that, without any reason for saying it, other than just to be mean and unkind, don't listen to it. You don't even have to retaliate. That's been my backward thing. Like, I've wanted to, get into that warrior stance and take up for it. Other than, what I will say, there is a way to have an awkward argument with kindness. So, for example, if you hear or see a person that's having a challenge standing up for themselves, their rights, and what they believe in, be careful of stepping in and overstepping where your boundary is. For example, somebody may need to grow as a person and they may need to defend their corner, and they may rise up against somebody who's telling them no, whatever, and they want to get their point across. By stepping in and fighting the battle for them, you may be taking away that person's power. You may be preventing that person from truly standing in to greatness by challenging what this other person's saying. I'm using these as examples. This hasn't happened. But the way to stand up for them is to stand with them in agreement of what they're saying, if that makes sense. If there's a part of you in your heart's space that feels, yeah, that's not right, what you've said, what you've done, how you're being, how you're acting, it's a little unkind, it's a little unjust, it's a little whatever that is. And you can stand beside the person without taking their power away. Then there's another little bit of a challenge. You could be ganging up. So watch. The ego is so delicate and so tricky, and it'll fly up. So this is where you take your time to step back and take a look at the bigger picture. When somebody comes to you and say, listen, this is happening, I could use some help, because you're going to be challenged, I'm sure. If you're listening to this and you're on this path of greatness and you're following your spirits and you're following what spirit's telling you, trust me, they'll be testing you, because people are going to be coming looking for your help. Take a step back, take a broader view. How would what you say help the entire situation? Sometimes it means gathering a bit more information. I need a bit more information. And you're here where the person's story's running amok and going off into crazy land. You don't have to chastise them for that. We all embellish. We all tell a colourful story because we want people to hear us. That's another thing. You can listen generously. Listen with all of yourself. Not listen while you're cooking. Not listen while you're on the phone. Not listen, I've often had to step back when people want to tell me what they're doing with their hair and the phone rings. Oh, hang on. Yeah, blah, 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 and I haven't got a clue what I'm going to do with their hair. And we're talking on the phone, and I've got to get something out of this. So I wait. Don't. I used to challenge it. Now I don't really. Anyway, let's get on with the meditation. Bring your feet flat to the floor. Lift your arms up and back. Open your chest and upper back. Create the space in your physical body. A space that's commanding. A space that is big. A space that says, yep, I'm here in the world and I deserve to be. Bring your feet flat to the floor. Big breath in. Release and let go. Let your belly go. Let your whole torso be relaxed. Setting your your physical space, meaning your physical body, into your physical space where you are. It's like laying your physical table. And keep your breath going. Make your breath audible. Connect with the soles of your feet. You can lift them up, place them back down. Meditation is your ability to observe the thoughts, the messages, the feelings that are coming to you. Know that our human side is wired for thoughts to continue floating through. The task is to let them float, unattached to them. You find yourself repeating a story in your head, going through a list of to-dos, being overly concerned about anything other than the right here and the right now where you are. Let your mind and your consciousness return to your hands. Listen for anything you may hear physically, and be in the observation of what you're hearing. Meditation is the quietening of the thinking mind and the opening of the wise mind, the conscious mind, the one that is in the space that you're in right now. And as you begin to go deeper with your breath, deeper with your relaxation, simplifying your space, imagine a light like a star up in the sky that is bright. And imagine this star way up in the sky in front of you, slightly above you, is the source energy from which you are directly connected to, the same energy that created you, created that star. And imagine the star is part of your energetic force, your energetic energy, your source energy. And see this star getting brighter, as if it's aiming its light directly toward you. And see the star getting closer, the energy of the star getting brighter. About 2 feet above your head, use the image of the stellar gateway, a circle like a halo, filled with light, 4 to 6 inches wider than your physical body. And as the energy of this star connects to the stellar gateway, draw that light down to your soul star, down through the crown of your head, the top of your head, washing over your brow, your nose, your eyes, your cheekbones. Feel the energy of this light washing down through you. Allow your chest, your arms, your elbows, shoulders, wrists, palms of your hands, both thumbs, every one of your fingers all the way through to the fingertips and out through the fingertips. Feel this loving, kind, gentle, energizing light rinse down through your lower spine, your tailbone, your buttocks, your pelvis, your pubic region, your thighs, legs, knees, shin bones and calf muscles. See it pouring down through your ankle joints into your feet. Moving into the soles of your feet and down through into the love of Mother Earth. Allow this cleansing light to wash your whole self, filling you up, energizing you, replenishing you. Allow this loving light to extend out further. And through your intention, what you're placing your energy to, send this light to each and every space in your physical body that feels tense, tight, slightly painful or very painful. Breathe in and send the light to that space. Breathe out and release the trapped energy from those areas. Continue breathing in the light. And on your exhale, release what needs to be released. Thank you, angels, archangels, ascended masters, beloved Christed spirits of the universe, for reminding me and others of your presence. Thank you for revealing to us what we need to know. Thank you for revealing what I need to know. I'm willing to listen and to receive, and so it is, and so shall it be. As you imagine this light running through your body, coming from the skies, lifting from the earth, pulsating and radiating out from you in all directions, ricocheting back to you. You can see this light change colors, be an observation of the color that's being created. See where the color is coming from, going to, listen for any messages you may be getting. Be observant of what you're seeing and feeling. Then return your consciousness back to your breath, back to your physical space. Bring your hands to heart center. Honor yourself. Lift your heart, your hands to your third eye center. Together we bow and say namaste. Thank you, my friends. Have a great Saturday. Take some time. Go for a walk. Do something to raise your physical vibration. And we'll see you soon. Bye.